What's up, class? Evans here. Today I'm going to show you how to really decorate your train and make it look even nicer. So let me show you a few things that I've got going on here. Let me first open up a more blank slate. And let's see here. Go down. We'll do this one. So I haven't been showing you a lot of decoration things. I've been showing you how to change the material and change the color in general. There's a few other things that you can kind of play around with. So, for instance, over here, instead of right clicking in the features and getting to edit appearance, you can actually do it here. There's a shortcut right on the side on that little toolbar. If you notice, part one is already a color. So you can get that and pick the whole entire color. Let me show you this little bar. I've seen other students found it. You can make it transparent. You can play around with the transparency of the part so it can be like a glass look. You can also select individual faces. Let's say I wanted to add a new appearance here, and I just want that to have a different color. And I could just get that shape. You can also grab groups of appearances. So let me select that one and say, you know what? No, I only want the rounded edges to have that green color. Go with like a dark green. You can select individual things. Maybe you'd like the series of holes that we drilled to be darker, so we could add those. And you can do this with any of your parts and play around with that. Now, how I got those other pieces, let me show you those too. If you want to, let's say, add a photo, there's a little button here, and let me import. You can bring it in, import from the main menu too. Let's say I take this one. Let's see, I'll do that one. Brings it in. Then it just brings it into your files on Onshape. It just kind of tosses it in there. Let me get back to out of my miniature train. It tosses it into your stuff somewhere. I forget where it goes. Maybe it did toss it into my miniature train. Well, it brings it into your files somewhere. You can also bring it in with this create button. It gets buried in there somewhere. Oh, it's sitting down here maybe. Yeah, it's sitting inside the part there if I add it here. Okay, that's probably better for it to sit inside the part. So now to bring it in, and it doesn't look as good as I would want it to, but you can click on a surface to create a sketch. And then there's a button over here next to the dimensions tool. It will look like one of these pictures, and it's just insert image. And we're going to bring in the logo we just brought. I'm going to click and drag it out. Now, I did find that moving it around was problematic. So as I would move it around, I noticed that sometimes it would start snapping to things. So if it stops moving cooperatively for you, it's doing that. It's snapping to things. So you can bring in the picture like that, and you can change its size. If you click on the corners, some of the corners will change the size. Haven't quite figured all that out yet. I forget. Sometimes it was working for me, sometimes it wasn't. You can also change the size by just putting a dimension. So maybe you would want it to be a little bit bigger. And you could also put dimensions for exact location. Like maybe you want it to be, 0.9 above. And so you can play around with exact sizes or just kind of general locations by moving it around yourself. Let's get that over. No, that's too far. Maybe a little more. There we go. That's somewhat centered. Now, it fades it out. I think originally the image feature was meant so that you could bring in an image, put it on a sketch, and then kind of trace it with different tools to kind of extrude it. Oh, look, I realized I just missed a fillet. Let's get that one added. There we go. Looks better already. So it does kind of shade it out. And what I don't like is if I rotate it, it does kind of show the back of it. That's kind of dumb. But I don't think it was meant to be a decorative feature. I think it was meant to just be a tracing feature. But it is kind of cool. You can add stuff to it. Unfortunately, you can't put it on like curved surfaces. What you can put on a surface is a curved surface is we can extrude a text through it, like I showed you at the beginning. So the way that I accomplished that is I just clicked on that side surface, created a text there. I'm sorry, a sketch there. And I'm going to use this text tool. Move this out of the way a little. I'm going to use this text tool here. Click and drag, and I'm just going to type Ravens. There we go. And then we'll want to definitely change the size of that. And it's just letting me move it. Well, I guess we can just change the size by typing in a number. Let's see, probably 375. It's a little better. Definitely going to need a little bit smaller, maybe 350. Oh, that fits just perfect. Again, you can add dimensions to kind of fit in exactly where you want. So I'm going to keep that the way it is. And I'm going to hit extrude. And I'm going to extrude Ravens. Now, you can extrude this in different ways. You could say add, and I can send it back into the train. And it could be like coming out of the train, like an emboss. Or it could be a remove, where it's like cutting into the train. Which looks pretty cool, in my opinion. And which means in the appearances, we could add a color, let's say like a dark green or blue, and click that extrusion, and it will color that part, just that. And then you could do that on both sides. Now in mine, see that one cut all the way to about the middle. What I did for mine is I created a sketch and I put a circle about the same size as the actual circle there, and then I extruded that sketch into the part. Now I'm not, as you can see, I'm not being as exact with dimensions here because this is just all for decoration and fun, like that. And then that way it's a rounded surface and it has a different look. There, see that the letters are just as thick as the rounded edge. And I can now color that a different color if I wanted to, and maybe make that something else. Oh, look. I'm going to have to fix that sketch because now it's inside of my... you have to be careful that you don't mess up your other things. There we go. So I saved that little hole that I'll have to make sure that it didn't get the very... oh, see, it's a little bit in the bottom. So I would have to edit it a little bit so that it doesn't mess up the place where the smokestack goes. So I wanted to show you just some ways that you can decorate your train body. I went ahead and tried to give like a matching color scheme to all of my parts. I went in and kind of made them uh, raven colors with a dark blue and light gold, and put that on all of them. You can do that if you'd like. It doesn't take long to open them up and then edit the appearance, especially with that little shortcut menu that I just showed you. So feel free to come in and add stuff. I would like to point out that depending on the type of pictures that you bring in, some pictures, it like maybe you just like that raven there doesn't have any white backgrounding. In order to do that, you have to bring in a picture that doesn't have a background on it. And if you ever look up pictures online, if you wanted to download them, when they have like that checkered background, like a transparent background, when it brings it in, it doesn't have a white border. It's just that picture. The edges of it is that way. So those might be better to bring in if you wanted to add stuff to it. So I wish you a good luck in trying to decorate your train and have fun with that and explore with personalizing it. It will be a few points onto the train body. So make sure that when you get yours decorated, let me know and I can add that to the grade book. I hope you have fun. Ask me questions if you're getting stuck on decorations. And next one after this is assembling it all together. Bye.